kind of.
Ah.
I knew I must have done something wrong.
I knew I must have done something wrong. I found her in my house. Buddy, you don't just find random people tied up in your house. You did something.
And I found her in my house. She's kind of.
She's just sitting there, bro. I don't know how she got in there, bro. She tied herself in.
I just went in her home because I'm so worried about her.
This is 30-year-old Mathew Hoffman. He's just been arrested at one of the most bizarre crime scenes ever, filled with something so strange that you'll have to see it to believe it. After sitting in complete silence for hours, in approximately 3 seconds, you'll see him finally crack and speak for the first time, admitting that a missing 13-year-old girl was found in his basement.
I can't tell you anything because I don't know.
Bro, stop.
But what he says next is completely
Stop.
unexpected.
I found her. I found her.
Became concerned that something horrible had happened.
Bro, somebody's gonna be like, yo, Minnie, why is one of your roommates dead? Oh, hey, Minnie, why is your gun smoking? Why is one of your roommates dead? I mean, I don't know, bro. I came in and you know, I came in and my roommate was alive, bro, and then I don't know what happened, and then my roommate was dead, and my gun was smoking. No idea. I guess a killer got in, used my gun, and shot him. Yeah, I think that's what happened. Like, bro, come on, stop. You killed her. Oh, you fucking did that, bro. You killed your roommate.
Happened to her coworker after she failed to show up for work. She broke into her house only to find a disturbing scene. However, she would soon discover that her coworker wasn't the only one missing.
Oh my God.
And the truth of what happened was even more horrific than anyone even feared. The nightmare began on Wednesday, November 10th, 2010 in Apple Valley, Ohio, when 32-year-old Tina Herman, a reliable employee at the local Dairy Queen, missed a day of work. For most people, this wouldn't be a big deal. However, she also wasn't answering any texts or calls, all of which was highly unusual for her. Concerned for her well-being, Valerie Haythorne, Tina's manager, decided to drive by her house and make sure everything was okay.
Hey, you know what?
She
That's
saw
a good
Tina's
manager.
truck was in the driveway with a...
Bro, that's a good manager. I feel like managers today would immediately fire the person and say, this bitch didn't want to come in, fuck her, fuck this, fuck you. But hey, maybe they're friends.
Another unknown car, and that the lights were on inside the house. But she still felt like something wasn't quite right. She called the police and told them that Tina hadn't shown up for work.
Sheriff Barber's office.
Hi, my name is Valerie Haythorne.
Uh-huh.
And I work at a Dairy Queen. I'm the general manager out there.
Uh-huh.
One of my employees did not show up for work this afternoon at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Which is totally uncharacteristic of her. She's one of my managers.
Okay.
I drove out by her house and went and knocked on the door and left her a note. She's not answering her phone, which is totally uncharacteristic. She's not answering her texts, and she is not at home, but her truck and her coat are in her house. Her truck's there and her coat is in the house. I'm very concerned about her.
What's her name?
Her name is Tina Herman, H-E-R-R-M-A-N-N.
Okay.
I know that she and her boyfriend are splitting up, and he can be a real jerk with her.
Okay.
Do you have a phone number for her?
Oh, God, I do, but it's in my phone. I'd have to call you back.
Okay, that's fine. What was your name again?
My name is Valerie Haythorne.
Yeah, they can find the phone.
Okay, I will have a deputy swing out there and check on her.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Anytime.
All right, bye.
Responding rather quickly, 2 different officers at different times showed up to check the residence, but when they knocked, no one came to the door. They left the matter unresolved. The next day, an officer called East Knox Schools to find out if Tina's 2 children, 13-year-old Sarah Maynard and 10-year-old Cody Maynard, had been in school. They were told that both children were in school on Wednesday, but hadn't shown up on Thursday.
Yes, it is.
Soon, a man named Ron Metcalf was also contacting the police because his
this is my SAS weapon.
Spraying appeared to be missing.
This is my SAS weapon. Look. And then pew, 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 pew. This is what I clear rooms with, right? When I come in, bro, as a police officer, hands up, bitch! It is my weapon. No, what did I just do? What did I just do? I fucked myself.
I knew I must have done something wrong.
To Stephanie around
There we go.
12:45 on Wednesday, but she hadn't answered any of his calls
what's the
since
price?
then. Around 4 p.m. on this same Thursday, Tina's determined boss, Valerie, decided to take matters into her own hands. When she got to
Yes.
Tina's house, she noticed that Tina's truck was now gone from the driveway, and only the unknown vehicle was left. This vehicle would turn out to belong to Stephanie. When her knocks on the front door went unanswered, Valerie decided to enter the house using an unlocked window on the back porch. Once inside, she saw blood in the bathroom
Oh,
and on the
fuck.
carpet, as well as splattered throughout the
Oh,
home.
fuck.
She immediately left the house and called the police.
Oh, fuck. Hey, by the way, there's blood.
This is Deputy Sylvia. Can I help you?
Yes, this is Valerie Haythorne.
Uh-huh.
I called in last night about
Bro,
Tina Herman
she is
being missing.
determined.
Mm-hmm.
I am out at her house now. I just went in her home because I'm so worried about her. There's
Bro.
blood everywhere.
Okay. Where are you at? I'm sorry.
Bro, why is the... My internet is dying, bro. Why is the cop so like, yeah. Well, we went to her house, she wasn't there. Listen, lady, nobody gives a fuck, okay? Your friend's probably dead. We don't care. Alright, don't call us. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Why does the cop have that fucking energy, bro? Why isn't the cop like, wait, hold on. Oh, yeah, we're already on it. Yeah, we entered the home. We already got DNA samples. Yeah, we're still looking for her. But why are the cops like, okay, so you found blood? And a finger. Oh, you found a finger. I mean, it could be any finger, right? I mean, it could be a chicken finger. Is it a chicken finger? Maybe it's a fish finger. No, it's a fucking human finger. No, this is with a woman. It's a human finger. It's her finger. It's got her ring on it. How do you know that's her ring on it? You know? I mean, can you actually tell? Bro, what the fuck is up with the cops? Why, like, if this person is missing, they've called everything. Why can't you guys, like, peep in and be like, you know what? They were fighting with the boyfriend. Okay, where does the boyfriend live? Let's go find the boyfriend. Right? Like, let's go look. The person's not here. They never miss. This is uncharacteristic. You're really worried. You know what? Do you know where the boyfriend lives? Yeah, okay, let's just go knock. Let's just go knock. Knock. Hey, by the way, is your girlfriend here, motherfucker? Like, come on, dog. Dude, I don't want to say it, bro, but I'm going to say it, dude. If this woman said, I just saw a black shadow run away from the house, bro, the cops are already on that. The cops are already on that, bro. They're rounding up all the black people. Holy fuck.
I just got back today, so.
Okay.
So you just need to kind of fill me in a little bit, okay?
Bro.
Tina Herman works for me. She did not show up for work yesterday, and we have not been able to locate her or her children for the last 24 hours.
They're
now.
missing. Bro, it's a whole family's missing and nobody's looking. And she told them they were missing. They went to the fucking kids' fucking thing and the kids were missing too. And these motherfuckers like, yeah, shit happens. Bro, go to the house. Like, what's wrong with you?
Spoke with.
No, I'm sorry, ma'am.
Okay.
I just need an address.
481 Kings Beach Drive in Apple Valley.
Okay, just give us a few minutes and we'll be en route, okay?
You were on route
Go
yesterday.
back in the house.
I'm not
Bro.
going to you. I'm staying in the driveway.
Bro,
Okay, thank
you...
you.
All right. Bye.
Bro,
Bye.
you were on route
By
yesterday
Friday, November
and you
12th, the police
did
were
jack
officially
shit.
investigating 4 disappearances. Tina, Sarah,
You
Cody,
did
and
jack
Stephanie.
shit.
The family dog, a miniature pinscher named Tanner, was also missing. The house was searched
Hey,
for
W
clues,
Tanner, W
and the
Tanner.
first discovery was very
Yeah.
disheartening.
Blood.
The initial crime scene investigation concluded that the evidence indicated assault with bodily
Yeah,
injury,
obviously.
including a large amount of blood and what looked like drag marks leading to the bathroom.
Oh.
There was also blood on the top of the basement stairs and in the basement. Something terrible had happened in Tina's home, but the exact extent of the horror still wasn't clear. The first suspect in the disappearances was the most obvious. Right at the beginning of the investigation, the police were told that Tina and her boyfriend were in the middle of a breakup, and her friends were worried that something may have happened between them. Gregory Borders, Tina's live-in boyfriend, who was not the father of her children, was interviewed immediately after he came to the police station voluntarily. In his statement, he admitted that he and Tina had split up, but they were still living in the house together until either of them could make other arrangements. Interestingly, Gregory normally has Wednesdays off from work, the day Tina went missing, but he decided to work overtime at Target Distribution in West Jefferson, Ohio, about 1.5 hours away. He worked from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m., but instead of coming back home, he said he stayed at a friend's house in Urbana, as they had plans to play golf in Bellefontaine the next day. It all seemed very convenient, except that all of his time was accounted for, and his friend verified that they had dinner together and stayed in watching TV. Gregory received a call from his mother around noon on Thursday.
You know what? His friend helped him. His friend helped him. It was a two-man job.
And she told him that Tina was missing, but instead of panicking and coming to help...
Oh my, dude, honestly, if you were a fucking, like, a murderer, right? If you were a murderer, bro, you... kill somebody with your friend, and then you say, yeah, I was with him. Yeah, he was with me, bro. We were watching movies, right? And then, to make your case even stronger, just say that you are gay lovers. Damn, bro, now they can't get you, because now you're a minority. Now you're two gay lovers, but you're actually secretly serial killers. But nobody's gonna know this, because you can always account for each other's times, right? It's too OP, bro. I'm too OP. If I was a serial killer, I'm prolific as fuck.
He just assumed she took the day off and continued to golf. Gregory only realized his assumption couldn't have been more wrong when he finally returned to the home he shared with Tina. There he found that an investigation into the disappearances had already begun. After investigators cleared the crime scene, Gregory's own family arrived with bleach to clean up the blood in the house so that he wouldn't have to see it.
What?
With Gregory cleared, investigators had to move on to other leads.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. What? Why did the family clean it? Wait, what?
He returned to the home he shared with Tina. There he found that an investigation into the disappearances had already begun. After investigators cleared the crime scene, Gregory's...
Oh, after they cleared the crime scene. Okay.
His own family arrived with bleach to clean up the blood in the house so that he wouldn't have to see it. With Gregory cleared, investigators had to move on to other leads. The next development was on that same Thursday when Tina's vehicle was discovered abandoned in the campus parking lot of the nearby Kenyon College,
it has to be the
with no sign of her or anyone else. But it was something at the crime scene back at Tina's house that soon became the most promising piece of evidence. Investigators found Walmart shopping bags containing 2 tarps and a box of heavy-duty trash bags. Now, that's not a good sign at all. But in this case, it was also the investigation's big break because, along with the shopping bags, they also found a receipt for the purchase. Detectives wasted no time requesting the surveillance footage from the Walmart in Mount Vernon and began scouring it for someone making the suspicious purchase of garbage bags and tarps, along with a turkey sandwich and a t-shirt which was seen on the receipt. It wasn't long before they found him, buying the items just after midnight on Thursday morning. Just to be sure they had the right guy, investigators obtained a copy of the receipt from the suspicious transaction and compared the product codes with the receipt they found at the crime scene, and they matched. The suspect was a white male, 25 to 40 years old, with brown hair, wearing a camouflage shirt and glasses.
Wait.
He was caught on the footage leaving
okay, hold on. Shouldn't Walmart keep a record? Shouldn't Walmart keep a record like, hey, these items were bought together by X person? Or do they just do the bulk? Because Walmart should be able, I think they would have the technology to be like, hey, who bought this item, this item, this item, this item, and this item? Oh, 3 people bought that, 2 people bought that, 1 p.m., 3 p.m. You know what I mean? Like, all of this should be...
Walmart in a silver Toyota Yaris. Using still
Oh,
images
they
of the
got his
suspect,
fucking-
the investigators used the Ohio Law Enforcement Gateway to search for any owners of a silver Toyota Yaris.
Oh, they got him, bro.
It was then that they found a name.
Oh, yeah, that's him.
30-year-old Matthew J. Hoffman.
Oh,
His
yeah,
vehicle
that's him.
appeared to match the surveillance video, and in his Ohio BMV photo, taken only 16 days before the Walmart footage was caught,
That's
he
him.
was even wearing a camouflage shirt similar to the one in the video. Obviously, the police knew they had to talk to him, but Matthew had two possible addresses. One belonged to his mother, Patricia Heglin, and was only 0.4 miles from Tina's home.
Oh,
The
it's
other was
one,
registered
bro.
under his name
Right
and was
there.
only 10 miles from Tina's. If there was any doubt that Matthew was
Oh,
the
you
right
guys
guy,
couldn't see? Yeah. This is the right guy. You guys didn't see. Look, bro, he's right here. This is where he's at. This is Tina's place, bro. This is Tina's. This is Matthew's mother's home, actually. Tina is Matthew's mother's home. The Walmart. Dairy Queen, where she works. And then this is his house, bro. Like, come on. This motherfucker did it.
and was only 0.4 miles from Tina's home.
Yeah.
The other was registered under his name and was only 10 miles from Tina's. If there was any doubt that Matthew was the right guy, a search of the Knox County Sheriff's Office revealed that he had actually been stopped near where Tina's van was found.
Never mind. That one was the school. This one is the kids. This one is the
County
kids.
Sheriff's Office
One
revealed
on
that
the
he
right
had
is the
actually been
kids.
stopped
This is the kids thing. His house is right here.
near where Tina's
yeah.
van was found within the same hour that it was discovered.
Wait, that was...
An
okay,
officer
I should
stopped him to
stop
ask why he
talking.
was in the area, but believing nothing was amiss,
The house
let
was
him
over
go.
there.
The sheriff's office also revealed that there was also a report of domestic violence between Matthew and his then living girlfriend that occurred about 1 month before the disappearances. During an argument, Matthew allegedly choked his now ex-girlfriend.
No, I like
It was
he's got
also
a
discovered that
crimson chin.
following the breakup, Matthew had just recently been fired from his job as a tree trimmer for apparently making his supervisor uncomfortable. His
Wow.
ex-girlfriend was contacted, and she told the police that Matthew no longer lived at his mother's house and hadn't for several months. Finally, the police knew where to look for Tina, Sarah, Cody, and Stephanie. Once search warrants were obtained just 3 days after the disappearances, a SWAT team descended on Matthew's home. Because they weren't sure if Matthew had kidnapped the 4 people,
killed
they
them.
conducted a no-knock search and
Yeah.
used a ram to force entry through the front door. They then threw in a flash grenade before they entered the home. What they found was more bizarre than they could have ever expected. Matthew was asleep on the sofa. He resisted a
Wow.
little by not showing his hands when asked, but he was quickly arrested and removed from the home. As soon as he was taken care of, officers noticed something particularly strange about the house. There were leaves everywhere. The living room floor was almost completely covered in
Why?
a huge pile of leaves. At first, the police were worried that the leaf pile might be hiding something sinister, like a body. But after searching through, they were relieved to find that this wasn't the case. Still, things only got weirder from there.
I just really
There
like
were also bags of leaves lining every wall of the bathroom.
What?
After breaking down the door of a locked bedroom, police discovered what looked like a marijuana growing operation that was not active.
Why?
In a freezer, they found 2 dead squirrels lying right next to a few red popsicles.
Bro.
But the biggest surprise was hidden in the
Yeah,
basement.
4 people.
A cabinet was blocking the doorway, but once moved, an officer discovered Tina's daughter, Sarah Maynard, lying on a sleeping bag on top of a pile of leaves in Matthew's basement.
Oh,
Her feet
God.
and hands were bound with yellow rope and duct tape. Alongside her in the
God.
basement were more trash bags filled with leaves.
Was a family,
Thankfully,
bro.
Sarah appeared to be unharmed,
Was
but
a
she was
family,
wearing a
bro.
makeshift diaper made from a plastic bag. As officers approached her, she was very confused and told them that she was late for school and kept asking if they knew anything about what happened to her dog, Tanner. Sarah was likely in shock or possibly dissociating. When something very scary or
Was-
traumatic happens, someone may
Was the
dissociate to
brother, the
protect
mother,
themselves.
and the friend?
They may feel disconnected from what is really going on or as though they are in a dreamlike state because reality is too difficult to face. Have you ever gotten in the car to drive home and then suddenly you realize you're almost back,
No.
but you don't remember the drive? That
No.
is a very mild form of dissociation. There was no sign of Tina, Cody, or Stephanie anywhere in the home. Investigators took care to photograph the way Sarah was bound before they freed her and brought her upstairs to wait for medical attention. Sarah was then brought by EMS to Knox Community Hospital, where she was thoroughly examined and questioned.
Yeah.
Despite the trauma she'd endured, she carefully outlined every detail of what had happened.
Please, no
She
death.
said that she and her brother had returned home from school on Wednesday and were attacked by Mathew as soon as they entered. She ran to her bedroom, but Mathew grabbed her and carried her down into the basement. There he found some rope that was already in the house and used it to tie her up. He then left her on the kitchen floor for a period of time.
What about the brother?
She wasn't sure how long before he put her into Stephanie's Jeep and drove her to the Howard Ballfield parking lot.
What about the
He
brother?
covered her with blankets and left her there.
What?
Mathew later returned and put her into another car and drove to his house. Once there, he bound her hands in work gloves and
What
duct
about her
tape,
brother?
had her gagged, and kept her locked in the bathroom in a closet
What about her
before he
brother?
put her into the basement. Sarah said that she believed Mathew had killed her mother, brother, Stephanie, and her
God.
dog, but she wasn't sure. She revealed that during the time Mathew had kidnapped her,
Oof.
about 4 days, he cut her finger with a knife, repeatedly assaulted her, and said that he was going to release her before Christmas, but he never told her what happened to her mother, brother, or Stephanie. After being
Did
medically
he kill her
cleared,
off?
Sarah was then released into her father's custody. Initially, after
Oh
he
my
was
God,
arrested,
bro.
Mathew was placed under 24-hour watch after crying and threatening to harm himself.
Oh
Eventually,
my God.
though, he was brought in to speak with investigators. The following interrogations took place over 4 days and have never been analyzed before. The interrogator reads Mathew his Miranda rights, but he's almost completely unresponsive and barely even acknowledges the detectives.
Bottom paragraph says, my rights have been explained to me and I understand each of those rights. Having those rights in mind, I'm willing at this time to make a statement or answer questions. You understand that, Matt?
Man, how does life go so wrong for these people, man?
You understand?
How do you
It's
even become
possible
one of
that
these
Mathew
people?
is in a catatonic state, which can occur with some psychological disorders, including schizophrenia. When the person is experiencing catatonia, they may be completely unresponsive with their body, like Mathew is now. It's also possible that this is his way of coping with the stress of the interrogation.
Oh,
Someone who
he
is under
uses them in
extreme
his speech.
stress may limit their movements in an effort to go unnoticed, also known as freezing. Of course, it's also the possibility that he's refusing to cooperate to intentionally avoid having to answer questions.
You want to talk to one of us alone, or do you want us both in here, or you comfortable
No
with both
answer.
of us being here? Matt?
Soon they start to get creative in the hopes that Mathew will begin talking.
Hey, Matt, can I ask you a question? You look familiar. You look
He
familiar.
looks
to
like
me.
Catman.
You work out at the gym?
Though Mathew remains silent, he finally reacts. But
He
what
looks
he
like
does
Cartman.
is one of the most bizarre things we have ever seen in an interrogation.
I found her, bro.
You know, other people, there's family members out there of other people, and all they want is closure. That's all they want. They've been up for days like you and I have, you know? Heart hurts. I don't.
Exploded.
I don't understand sign language, man.
Mathew's hand signals seem to say that his heart is broken. This is, of course, not real sign language. However, it's certainly odd that he's using hand signals to communicate, but this could be an indication of Mathew's childlike nature.
What do you want from us? Tell me what you want from us.
Mathew sits with his eyes closed as the detectives try relentlessly to get him to start talking.
We want a couple minutes here just to kind of think about all this, because I know it's overwhelming for you right now.
I'm beginning to think Matt don't care.
He cares.
Good
The
cop, bad
detectives
cop.
are speaking as if Mathew isn't in the room.
He
They're
cares.
likely trying to see if something they say strikes a chord and makes him want to chime in to correct their assumptions about him. When this attempt doesn't work, the interrogator tries another, more confrontational approach.
Somebody will cry today. If I make a phone call after this interview, somebody will cry. But I guarantee you, some of that cry will be joy. Because they know where Cody is. They know where Tina is. They know where Stephanie is. I know they'll cry for somewhat joy, Matt, because I've already heard it with Sarah.
Mathew tightens one hand into a fist and then covers it with
I'll
the
place
other
myself
hand,
over here
a
so you
sign
can
that
see
he's
everything.
feeling very anxious.
Everything.
What I'm probably going to do, Matt, is leave this room, and when I get away from these guys, probably cry like a baby. Because it's working on me, man. Big time.
Finally, after sitting in silence and almost completely unresponsive for over 4 hours,
they don't know where the kid is, they don't know where the
Matthew
mom is,
cracks.
and they don't know where the other one is.
I can't tell you anything because I don't know.
I can't tell you anything because I don't know.
I knew I must have done something wrong. And I found her in my house. She's tied up. And so I took care of her.
Psychopaths often try to paint themselves as the good guy or the hero, like Matthew did here, when claiming that he took care of Sarah. This is a sign of antisocial personality disorder, also known as ASPD. However, when someone with psychopathy does something horrible, they will sometimes pick out one positive thing they did in the midst of all the horrible things in order to claim that they are good.
And the mother.
What Matthew claims he had done to, in his words, take care of Sarah, was feed her, let her watch the movie Iron Man, and allow her to borrow his copy of the book Treasure Island.
Iron Man's pretty good. Come on, bro. Tell me how you took care of him. Come on. You got this.
So I was trying to figure out what had happened.
Matthew's claim to not know what he did is one of the mysteries with psychopaths and people with severe personality disorders, because they sometimes dissociate and can't recall their actions. This is particularly true for the very mentally ill psychopaths, such as someone with psychopathy mixed with psychosis. Other times, their supposed inability to remember is just their way of manipulating and pretending that they weren't aware of what they were doing.
At what point did you find her tied up in your house? Thursday.
And you didn't call the cops?
Did you ask her? Did you speak with her about, what happened? How did you get here? Anything like that?
She said I'd done it. I figured I had done something I didn't know. I just could try to put pieces together.
It still isn't clear what happened to Tina, Cody, or Stephanie, or where they are. However, given the evidence of blood found in the home and Sarah's testimony that she believed Matthew killed them, investigators weren't hopeful that they would be found alive.
Did you recognize her as someone that you had seen before? And, did you realize that this is a person you'd seen before that now was in your house? Or
I don't know.
Did it make that connection? You don't
know her.
I mean, I'm just asking because they were the pictures on the camera and they weren't taken, at the time that this happened. So I was just wondering if
bought a top and shit, and then
in other words, if
inside of
someone
the
you knew,
home,
and then
when the kids came
wow,
in,
how did you get near my house?
How?
Because she said that she asked you a couple of times. Do you remember that?
Like he was already inside the house.
Childlike behavior is very typical of people with personality disorders, including ASPD. However, Matthew is extremely childlike. When under stress, psychopaths and many people with ASPD often regress to childlike behaviors, but they often do so knowingly as a way to attempt to manipulate their way out of consequences. A female officer, believed to be a psychologist, enters the room and begins speaking with Matthew one-on-one. She set up the room differently so they're more side by side instead of across the table, which doesn't allow Matthew to have the barrier of the table between them, keeping his distance and guard up.
More of a
therapist. Kind of feeling alone, and that's definitely how I felt when I went to Chicago. I knew no one there. I was the only one out of my class sent there.
The interviewer is trying to build rapport with Matthew and trying to make it seem like she can relate to him, possibly feeling lonely in a city where you don't know anyone. This is to make him feel less judged and to start moving him closer to a confession.
But you had a purpose.
Yeah.
Ikigai.
What's that?
Japanese.
Ikigai. He's a fucking weeb. Of course, the fucking loser killer's a fucking weeb, bro. Ikigai is what you want to do, what's good for society, and what you know how to do. When you, like, something like that, it's a Japanese concept, bro. It's like the perfect life. If you got the Ikigai, it's the perfect life. This is my Ikigai.
Well, it's not going very well, is it? Comment about a lack of purpose. She'll now likely use this as the theme for why he did what he did as he was receptive to it.
Ikigai.
This is a step in the read technique of theme development. When developing themes, the interrogator speaks in a soft, soothing voice to appear non-threatening and to lull the suspect into a false sense of security.
So I did go out to Colorado after I graduated high school.
Did you?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's where I got into my first trouble. I did something really bad. And I pieced it together. I figured it out. And I went and turned myself in out of my first prison time.
You went out there with a sense of purpose.
It is clear he likes playing the victim role, and the interviewer will allow him to seem like a victim to get him to confess. But admitting that he had done something very bad in the past, it shows that he has some awareness of what bad is. So if there's any doubt that he's insane, this could show that he's likely not entirely insane.
He knows what's wrong.
I burned down a condo.
Oh.
I did burn down a condo.
I guess.
In 2001, Mathew was convicted of arson, burglary, assault, and motor vehicle theft while in Routt County, Colorado. It's believed that he set fire to a vacation condo to hide any evidence that he'd been staying there without the owner's permission. He was eventually released from prison and paroled back to Ohio.
It's okay.
Bro, it's not attractive when you cry. Stop crying like a bitch.
The investigator now offers a justification for his actions, saying he just wanted a release and didn't want to hurt anybody. This is another read technique used to make him feel more at ease with admitting to the things he did, as she's proposed a more morally acceptable reason for his actions that he can latch onto.
Yeah, you didn't want to murder anybody, bro, but you had a... Of course you did. Of course you
Again,
did.
her tactic works, and he repeats what she said.
You know what
Not me.
antipsychotic medication is?
Yeah,
I mean,
I've heard of it.
It doesn't... I read about it.
Heard of it. Oh, he read about it.
Directly address the problem.
Oh, nothing really does.
Powerful tranquilizers.
Alright, buddy, listen, I'm gonna tell you how to fix your problem, okay? That's the only way you can fix his problem of being a serial killer, of killing a child, of killing a mother, of being psychotic. The only way to fix the root of the problem is that way, bro. Like, that's the truth.
I'll take it if I have to.
I'll take it if I have to. Oh, you already were a danger.
It's interesting that Mathew agrees he will take an antipsychotic medication if he has to. It appears that he may be trying to claim that he is psychotic or was acting due to psychosis when he committed the crime.
Crazy.
Why do you think that?
Well, because I murdered some people and I don't even know.
I must have done something bad. I wouldn't be here if I didn't.
Wow, that can you work through?
Again, he's playing innocent and claiming to be unaware of his actions.
What a victim.
This is not a believable tactic. And hearing this, it's easy to assume that he's lying and manipulating or playing crazy to try to get out of the consequences he knows he'll be facing. While this could be the case, it's also possible that Mathew has gotten used to dissociating throughout his life, meaning that he copes with whatever unpleasant or uncomfortable feelings he experiences after doing something bad by completely erasing it from memory. This isn't a totally conscious process, of course, because people can't consciously decide to erase something from memory. However, this type of dissociation is something a person can learn to do as early as childhood, particularly people who have gone through severe abuse during childhood. In addition, detectives found an extremely large number of leaves inside Mathew's home. This is certainly unusual and may be a sign of a severe mental health disorder. One of the symptoms of schizophrenia is delusions, in which the person may hold strange or odd beliefs. Although Mathew has made no mention of the leaves, it's possible that he holds some type of delusion involving leaves. The sheer amount of time that it would have taken him to gather that many leaves and bring inside lends support to the theory that he likely has a very strongly held belief about the leaves.
Okay, potentially, I can't, guarantee these things. What facility you might go to, where you might go, what might happen. and the attitude that the people in the system are going to take toward you.
They're
Can be
gonna treat you
affected
as a monster.
by the fact that you decided at this point to do the right thing.
The male detective takes a very
based-
different approach with
based.
Matthew than the previous interrogator. He's much louder,
Yeah,
more
he's-
aggressive, and more direct.
Yeah, but he's also.
The moment we broke into your
telling him,
house,
"Listen, bro."
found you and found her in the basement, you owned it all. You own it all. Okay? You can't do anything about the part of it you own.
Matthew clearly doesn't
However-
respond well to the detective's assertive
However-
and somewhat aggressive approach. It appears that he's covering his ears with his arms, possibly trying to block out what the detective is saying.
Hey,
He's silent again,
Hey.
and the detective allows the silence to linger in the hopes that he will make a decision as to whether he will confess.
listen to me, little bitch.
The detective mirrors Matthew's
Give me a kiss.
posture and body
me a
language
kiss.
here. Although this can be viewed as a
Suck
way of
pussy.
invading Matthew's personal
Suck pussy.
space, it could also be the detective's way of trying to connect with Matthew. The intensity appeared to cause Matthew to become more distressed. However, by mirroring his body language, the detective is relaying a message of understanding.
And you know, if you didn't have a plan and you just put them in the Jeep or you just pulled over somewhere, there's
Yeah.
weeds in the Jeep, so it looks like you probably pulled into a field somewhere and that's how the weeds got on there.
So what
If
field?
it's a random place, give me an idea where street it might be on or off of. But you gotta be able to narrow the field out from the whole county. And the dumping itself has to be less traumatic to recall than all the stuff that went on in the bathroom.
Yep. Bro, I'm falling
Just
asleep.
tell us where to look.
I'm
And I
really
was
tired.
not forward and say that you did.
Yeah, he won't. Good thing he's telling
And
me
I
though,
will,
but
I will go.
I will go to the end of the
Sarah
yeah.
myself and tell her that you did.
The detective returns to this theme that has Matthew looking like a good guy. He even uses Sarah seeing him as helpful as a bargaining chip.
Okay. I don't want you to get upset, but the reason we're driving around, and we don't have to drive around.
Yeah, we
Okay,
don't
remember
know.
I came in here saying that I didn't want to drive around unless there was some value in it. Okay. Right. That's the whole point. Is will you see something that will, prompt your memory? But
My
I want to
fucking
talk
god, bro,
about.
I'm falling asleep heavy.
I want to talk about what the possibilities would be for that location. Okay. In other words, not across the street. You're not going to put bodies across the street. What would you do? From there.
Yeah, what did you...
In terms of a place you might go.
I'm not gonna be mad at you if you don't know exactly, your memory is not exact. Because you have said that you want to know.
Speak,
You're afraid to find
motherfucker!
out. But there's a part of you that wants to know.
Fucking fall asleep.
If it doesn't happen, genuinely, then it doesn't happen. I'm not gonna be upset.
Ragnar, what's up, baby?
Matthew seems to like the attention and pampering he's receiving from the detective and the psychologist, who are treating him with care and catering to him as they try to locate the bodies.
I gotta start
The detective almost
way
sounds
earlier, bro.
father-like as he's talking to Matthew about doing the right
That's what I gotta
thing,
do.
almost like a
Because
mentor.
my internet
And the
goes
psychologist
bad, man.
takes on a nurturing
internet
maternal
goes bad.
role in her soft-spoken
Around
and
8
calm
p.m.
way.
to 10 p.m. it
Matthew's
goes bad.
severe emotional immaturity appears to have elicited this sort of care from them.
Drive you, let you see and kind of see what happens. I mean, I may ask you, or Chris may ask you an occasional question. But that's all we're trying to do.
Yeah, that's...
Okay?
I'm feeling very sleepy, bro.
Yeah, what's your jacket?
Very sleepy. It's 9:10, bro.
Sure.
But I'm...
Do you like water better?
Like, I feel like my mind goes, what
Do
do
you
you
want to go
know?
to the bathroom before?
What do you know? You know what I mean, bro?
I think I should go.
And every time I do this, I can imagine a cock.
You won't
Ah!
love that with me.
You feel me? If this doesn't get
Whether or not
fixed,
the police truly believe
Yeah.
Matthew's claims that he can't
if
remember
this
what
isn't
happened to
fixed
the
by
three
the
missing
end of
people,
this,
they
I
took
think
him
I'll
on a
do
ride in an effort to refresh
extremely
his
short
memory.
stream today.
He didn't reveal anything. It's
I wasn't
possible that
feeling
Matthew simply
tired, but
wanted to
I'm
escape
feeling
from the
very
interrogation
tired right
room, and this car ride was a break for him
Very.
from the intense questioning.
And then I'll
The
stream
next
early
day,
tomorrow.
Matthew was once again brought back into the
Alone.
interrogation.
And listen, Ragnar, no more of me saying, I'll do this tomorrow, I'll do that tomorrow. No. We actually do it. No more of me just saying, I'll do this, I'll do that. No. I'm actually going to do it. I was really active on Twitter yesterday. I'm going to keep being active. I'm gonna keep doing the Discord. Maybe tomorrow when we wake up, I'll show you boys how to box a little. Yeah, actually no, maybe no. I will. I'll show you boys how to box a little. So we start the boxing streams tomorrow, bro. Thank you for your socials. Yeah, twitch.tv/mini. See, bro, my mind is stupid. Twitter.com/mini Donby, bro.
Interrogation room. This is now day 4. The
Yeah,
detective removes
I'm
Matthew's
actually
handcuffs.
expanding now.
This is a gesture of
no
goodwill
more.
in the hopes that he will appreciate it and be more cooperative with them.
No more garbage. And tomorrow we'll do a boxing stream early tomorrow.
Does that need to go in the microwave or is it okay?
You know what, bro? Now I no longer feel sleepy. I feel good now.
Giving him food and coffee
feel
are
good.
gestures of friendliness they hope he will reciprocate. The detective even offers to heat up his food again, trying to build rapport and seem like an ally to Matthew. He's just come out of his jail cell and may be even more receptive to the outside comforts they're providing him.
Bro,
He doesn't say thank you or appear appreciative, which further displays his antisocial personality.
But I'm feeling good now.
You guys just starting your day?
We'll see.
Pretty much. It's about 9:30.
So for you boys that just got here, this motherfucker,
Or do you stay up late?
a woman went missing, right? Her boss went
This
to
is
her
just
home.
to get him comfortable
Her
with them
boss
again and
called the
get him
cops.
talking.
She was like, "Hey,
He
cops, you
clearly
guys come
prefers
over," and
to
they're
sit
like,
in
"Oh my
silence.
god, yeah,
So
welcome
this
over,
is
we're
essential
fancy."
for someone like this.
Shut the fuck up, bitch. All right, so she calls the cops, right? She's like, "Hey, my fucking employee, she's always on time. She's always here. She's always on my dick. All that shit. She ain't here. Her coat and her things are here. Her car's here, but she's not here. The lights are on too." And the cops are like, "Oh, yeah, we'll get there, bro." Cops get there, and the cops are like, they look at the house and they go, "I don't know, bro." And then another cop gets there and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know, bro." And then they go look for her children, right? And the school is like, well, the children didn't come in today. And then the cops are like, "I don't know, bro." So then this woman, right, she falls asleep. She wakes up the next day. Next day, she doesn't come in. She goes over to the fucking home again. And she's like, "Yo, this bitch ain't come yet." And then she gets into the home, bro. She climbs into the home. She sees blood. And she sees trail marks of blood. Like somebody was dragged in the home. And then she calls the cops again. And then the cops go and actually start looking for real. Bro, it took the cops one day to start looking for real, bro. And so a whole family of 4 is missing. 2 women are missing, 1 child and 1 girl, right? And then they went to a Walmart. They went to a fucking Walmart. And they saw the cops saw a receipt. The cops saw a receipt at the home. There was a receipt at the home. They grabbed the receipt and they said, "Bro, who the fuck buys tarps?" And shit like that, right? At Walmart. So the Walmart people were like, "Yo, you know what? We are rats and we will tell you who this motherfucker was." And they showed fucking CCTV footage. They found him. They saw him. It looked exactly the same. Turns out they also had CCTV footage of the fucking car that he got into. Hey, bro, they got him. Hook, line, and sinker. They got this motherfucker. Right? Like, this motherfucker, he coked. Right? And then it turns out a week before he had been at the DMV to take a picture for his fucking car license, bro. So they got him like this. Bro, they got him like this. He looks like Joe Biden. You know what? He does look like Joe Biden, and he looks like Jordan Peterson. And Jordan Peterson is, he's analyzing Joe Biden right now. And this is Hillary Clinton, bro. She's in the cookout, too. Hillary's in the cookout, too. Bro, they're gonna get Joe. Sleepy Joe.
I kind of left it last night with you feeling like you wanted to do what you could.
Oh, I'm drinking coffee like a bitch.
His behavior could point to severe trauma and or mental defect. The detective realizes he must take some sort of action to get anywhere with Matthew and asks the other interrogator to step out.
Chris, could you give us a couple minutes? Okay. Did you look at the chain camera? Okay.
No, it's Jordan Peterson. Hi. I just want
offer for you, but I want to give you what you asked for.
Changing the dynamic in the room can sometimes prove useful. The detective slides his chair closer to
I
Matthew,
wanna give you
invading
what
his
you
personal
asked for.
space to try to snap him out of the day.
The detective pulls down the perp's pants. The detective reaches into the pants and whips it out. The detective starts and now this is how the detective is gonna get the story out of the guy. Come on, bro. 50 Shades of Grey.
He's in.
It's not unusual for us. I mean, a lot of times somebody wants to talk to one of the other. She won't take it personal.
Matthew shifts in his chair, positioning himself slightly away from the detective. This may be a sign that he's trying to decrease his feelings of discomfort about the detective sitting so close to him.
There's more than one time that I've advocated for
beating
the person that I'm working with as a result of how things have gone. So when I tell you that, this is what I'll do or what I can't do, or
when the detective states that he has in previous cases advocated for the suspect, Matthew quickly looks up and makes eye contact with the detective for the first time since he's been in there. This statement has piqued his interest and attention, and the detective should take note of this and continue to use this theme of him being able to help him.
Hey, listen, bro, I'll help you out. You tell me.
This thing here? On the floor. Well, yeah, it's connected.
Well, that's all. That's just a surge, a converter that converts electrical current into a current that computer hooks up, and that computer is a CVSA, which is a type of computer that analyzes voice stress. It's kind of one of the newer types of lie detectors that they use.
So isn't the microphone?
No.
Despite Matthew appearing to be in a daze the majority of the time, this question about a microphone shows that he's aware of his surroundings, and he
right there, he's not believing the cop is going to help him, right? He's checking if the cop is actually going to help him. Because the cop literally just said, like, look, man, I'll break a few rules as long as you tell me, like, I'll advocate for you. Yeah, this is... Listen, we're boys. I understand women, bro. Listen, I've wanted to kill a couple of bitches myself. That's what the cop is telling him, basically. That's the energy of the cop. Right? And this motherfucker's like, huh? You're a serial killer too? And you're gonna help me? Oh, I like this. But what about that? Why is there a microphone there, bro? Are you lying to me? Are you trying to honeypot me? This is what they're doing. This is what they're doing, bro. This is what they're doing. I'm serious. This is what's happening.
Likely has some sort of plan, which is why he's wondering if he's being recorded. He's likely not as lost and distraught as he's presented to be.
What's the thing in your ankle?
What's that? Watching Modi, but he got boring. Holy.
Just leave it there.
Matthew continues to delay because he keeps discussing things that aren't relevant and then asks
I think
to
one
use
of
the
the
bathroom.
issues that Moti and I have is we're too disparaged. Too disparaged. Sometimes we'll talk about one thing, then about another thing, then about another thing, then about another thing. It's too schizo. We're gonna reel it in.
The detective is careful to not turn his back on Matthew, just in case he snaps and tries to attack him, especially after the comments about the gun.
So what? Yeah, I was gonna say. So starting now, I'm kind of gonna like reel that in. So when we're watching evil, we talk about evil, right? When we're gaming, we game. When we're on a show, we're on the show, right? And because I was thinking about it, whenever I'm on a show, sometimes I think about the show like 3 hours later. I'm gonna try to. What happens on the show? We're gonna give 15 minutes, all of our thoughts on the show. And that's it. Like, we'll talk about the show, and once we've done talking about that show, we drop it. Because it's better for YouTube, it's better for Twitch, it's better for everything. You feel me? Like, dropping a meme about the show 5 hours later, it kind of interrupts what I'm doing over here now. You feel me, boys? That's something that I noticed that I do, and I'm gonna try to stop doing that. When you guys, Ragnar and Candy, when you guys see me do that, please tell me, right? So when we're watching evil, we try to do evil. You feel me? Just reel it in a little bit more, make it a little bit less disparaged. See, that's one of the ways we're improving, boys. That's one of the ways we're improving. Yeah. I think Moti's got the same issue.
We don't know anymore.
I think a lot of people actually have the same issue.
Talking about the gun and offering to have the cuffs put back on is a very unusual interaction, to say the least. It could be that Mathew might be aware of his own impulsivity. Perhaps he doesn't trust what he might do in a moment of impulse. The detective took Mathew to a restroom just down the hall from the interview room.
I'm sorry. I feel like I failed you. I'm sorry.
I feel like I failed you.
The detective
What?
is saying this as a tactic to essentially place the blame on himself for Mathew not being cooperative to see if that has any positive outcomes.
I feel myself.
I've let you down. I've let Sarah down. I've let everybody down.
What? Sarah got recovered.
The detective may be trying to appeal to Mathew's feelings about
Bro.
Sarah. Earlier in the interrogation, he oddly stated that he took care of her.
And I found her in my house. She caught up. And so I took care of her.
The detective may be hoping that Mathew feels some shred of empathy for Sarah, so he'll provide them with the location of the other victims for Sarah's sake.
This cop
Everything
actually
I told you
just
is the
cracked him.
truth. But I'm being truthful with you now. I mean, it's not just about you, Matthew.
Yeah.
It's about her. I mean, like I said, I think I failed you. I failed her. Law enforcement, hey, I failed them before. But,
He doesn't
but
like
I mean,
failure, bro.
That's the package.
This guy,
Hearing our conversation.
this guy, he responds to
In a
failure.
bathroom and here now. Once I left, I didn't hear anything.
Do you want to tell her?
No, I was wondering if maybe she had been listening with me. Listening voices.
You wanted privacy, you need privacy.
So, are you probably not going to keep it private?
Mathew revealed something to the detective in the bathroom that he's concerned the female interviewer will find out about. He may feel embarrassed for her to know either because she is a female or because he still wants to appear like the victim as she was
Yeah, I
previously
could do
treating
that.
him.
I could bring a couple of
Our
friends.
conversations, like it's
I think I could do it with Malik.
The only thing, my intention, I'll be honest with you right now, is just tell Chris what we said. Okay? But I will tell you this, okay? If you tell us, I will keep that private.
The detective quickly realizes he now has some leverage over Mathew and uses it to create a quid pro quo scenario.
Yeah. If
Mathew is about to
then-
unveil a disturbing and unexpected revelation.
Then,
So I had a really horrific dream last night.
oh, horrific. I dreamt where I took.
Getting a knot in my stomach. Yeah.
Oh, he ate them. Oh.
Awful. This is some really disgusting stuff in a big garbage can.
Oh
I
God.
was hoping I could make some excuse for you guys to kill me.
From what I've heard from their family, that's something that would just hurt them more. And hurting yourself's not going to help anybody, including yourself.
I mean,
Matt said that that the dream dealt with the food processing plant,
listen.
where they chop food up, and that there were garbage bags there.
That's what that guy needs to
that
do.
were that then.
Hey, as Nike says,
garbage can or bag.
as Nike says, okay, look, I can see the Nike mark in his forehead. As your forehead says, bro, just do it. Just do it. We don't need any more monsters like you, bro.
Not sure which. And
I mean, after he tells us what they are.
Body parts, chopped up stuff. And
So,
I'm not sure what to think now in terms of whether he knows or doesn't know. He doesn't appear to have any concerns about the consequences in terms of trials and courts.
The detective reiterates Mathew's story as if he believes his version of events, but then makes it clear he's holding back additional information. This is to try to get Mathew to disclose the location of the bodies.
Matt.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Listen, bro. I'm not gonna lie. His hairline is so fucked up. Look at it, bro. This peak is shorter than this peak. It's like he's gonna go bald on this side, but not on this side. Bro, he's going bald on one side, but not the other. Like, what the fuck? He's gonna go both like this. And then here. Oh, what a fucked up hairline.
This deal I'm offering you, okay? I mean, so to speak, okay?
Actually,
Can you
are these guys
tell us what you do
related?
remember?
Got the same hairline.
My concern again is with the location. Can you tell us what you do remember?
Yeah, what did you dream, bro? Obviously his dream is a fucking confession.
Look,
I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought you should want me to talk about the offer you made to me, what you wanted to have accomplished as a result of the day, the trip.
I figure that's...
You tell me, and I give you less years.
You figure you already revealed that? I mean, in other words, you did ask me earlier, am I going to say that? And I said that, I would not say it. I would not give. See, what I'm figuring is that here's some others. I'll bring you right back in to take over this, but I just want to throw something.
Chris, get the fuck out. It's just the boys.
I thought that what your concern was that I didn't tell him about.
Bro, and this bitch is like this, bro. And this bitch is like this, bro. She's like this, bro. Like when my brother and I, right, would be small and our parents were fighting, we're like... And then we run away. And mom and dad are like, hey, you guys still awake?
Desire to have a
That's that moment right now.
Matthew's secret is that he wants to be shot by the detective. The detective agrees to keep this a secret so that he may be able to carry it out. This is all just a ploy to try to get Matthew to disclose the body's location, as he clearly cannot agree to kill him.
Yeah.
And that because if I shared that,
I go to
then
jail.
they would go to extreme measures to keep that from happening.
There's no trust on either side.
No, but you can trust me. You can trust him.
There's no way of proving that. There's no way you can just shoot me if everyone knows.
I know that.
I
If I
can't.
should have escaped without legitimate reasons.
But the bottom line is, what does all this have to do with not telling us where they are?
Yeah, just
How
tell me
does
where
that
they
hurt
are.
things?
And I will shoot you.
I don't understand.
Well, help me understand.
Oh, bro, he chopped
It's hard
him
to
off.
tell if Matthew actually believes his claim about his dream or if all of this is just him buying time or trying
chopped him
to
off.
play crazy.
And nobody thinks that the person
He ate
in
them,
this
bro.
position that comes to this point does this of
Did
their
he
own,
eat them? Nah.
through their own fault.
Eating
I'm
3
trying to
people in
figure
2
all out, I mean,
days.
I
I mean,
know,
that's gonna be a
Your
world record.
dad and mom split up when you were 3. You went through a life without a dad. That's a major impact. It affects a lot of people in a lot of really negative ways. And your dad was a 40-year
Single
firefighter,
mother.
and you set some
Again.
fires. Okay.
His obsession with leaves and the fact that he accumulates a large collection of leaves in his home could be his way of coping with the abandonment issues related to his
Single mother,
father,
bro.
who reportedly was a firefighter. It's possible that setting fire to leaves, and thus his obsession with leaves, could be related to his hatred for his father or his desire for his father to notice him. People who feel lonely, hopeless, or empty inside often derive comfort from material objects because they might not be able to get the love and attention they want from people in their lives.
Damn.
As a result, they turn to obsession and
Bro, that's-
fixations with things in order to feel less
Bro,
alone.
he was
In
roasting like
Matthew's
half
case,
of the human
accumulating large
population.
quantities of leaves may have brought him a feeling of fullness and
This
comfort.
motherfucker's roasting all
However,
streamers,
it's also
bro.
possible that Matthew may have some sort of mental illness
Oh.
and has some strange beliefs about leaves.
Again,
One of the
roasting
symptoms of
half of the
schizophrenia
streamers.
is delusions. Yet Matthew doesn't seem to have schizophrenia, as he doesn't appear to be in a psychotic episode during these interrogations. When he does speak, he sounds clear, coherent, and he's aware of what's happening around him. He doesn't appear to be responding to any
not wrong.
internal stimuli, as you might expect with someone who is schizophrenic. To our knowledge, Matthew was never diagnosed with schizophrenia.
With all honesty, Matt, I say this very genuinely. You are sitting in self-pity, and that doesn't even help you.
Yes.
The female
she is.
detective calls Matthew out
She's
for his
right.
self-pity and victim mentality. This is a sign that they are
Oh,
done using this theme to
whoa,
get him
bro,
to speak,
why did-
since
why
allowing
did-
him to play the role
Bro, why did they just call him a dunkle? Come on, bro.
of the victim has not produced any answers. She then
Leave
directs him to
Donkey
think about the
alone,
future
bro.
and how he'll be viewed in the
Oh.
hopes this will get him talking.
Talk to you guys. It's lonely. That's so.
Because I want to talk to you guys. It's lonely. I don't have any life left.
Well, I disagree on that.
Bro, how the fuck are you
do,
gonna kill
and you
3
can.
people and then be like...
Matthew is intelligent and knows that if he tells them where the bodies are, there's
Maybe you
no
should have been
guarantee
one
of
of
any
those
real
3 people
benefit to
like-
him. The
Maybe you
most
should have
likely
been
way
the
to
only
get him
one
to
you
give
killed.
up this information
How
would be
about
in exchange for a
How
plea
about
deal,
that?
such as removing
Fucking
the death
coward.
penalty. However, given Matthew's expression of wanting to be shot, that may not be motivating to him.
They're pushing the prosecutor,
Well,
pushing
so-
to have you come and have a hearing, and this is it. This
So
is your
tell
last
him.
chance.
So tell
to
him,
talk to
we
us.
will kill you.
Literally.
If you tell us, we'll
and
make sure that you don't go to jail. You won't rot. You'll die.
That's
We'll
what
make sure.
they're
If
pushing
that's
for.
what you
You're
want,
saying,
we'll make sure of it.
yeah, you're saying you're still willing to talk to us without an attorney, but that's
Bro,
what's being done now.
legitimately, this guy's been saying, hey, can you shoot me? Can you shoot me? Can you shoot me? Hey, listen, you tell us, we will make sure that it's a death sentence. We will make sure of it. You will not spend time in prison. We will make sure that you will die. But you gotta tell us. Now, if you don't tell us, we're gonna keep you in jail. We're gonna make sure you don't kill yourself. We're gonna make sure nobody kills you until you tell us. And then we'll let you go. Otherwise, you ain't going anywhere, dog.
As far as pushing for that. So this is your last chance right now to talk to us.
They'll come and make the decisions for you.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, they'll
switch
take
it
that
all
away.
around.
They make it sound like it's your freedom to go and give you.
The detective knows that it's very important for Matthew to feel like he is the one in control and he is calling the shots. He makes it sound like if he gets a lawyer, the lawyer will be controlling him. He knows Matthew won't like feeling powerless.
And the lack of the media pressure can also take some of the other people that are, being affected by it. Sorry about that.
Okay. We're done. We apparently are told we're.
Was that a fucking ghost, bro? Was that the spirit of one of the people he fucking killed? What the fuck was that? Hold on. Nobody's there.
It also takes some of the other people that are, being affected by it. Sorry.
Look at the reflection, bro. Nobody's there.
Okay.
There's nobody there. Bro, it's the spirit of the people that he
We're
killed.
done. We apparently are told we're done. Keep everything we said in mind for you. Think about it.
So it was the
Think
lawyer,
about
Alan.
what you can do for yourself after you talk to an attorney.
MDB lawyer, bro.
So here are my pads. Man, no, they're gonna take you back down to jail because for security reasons the attorneys can't meet with you here.
No, it
okay?
wasn't.
Remember, public defenders have their own interests sometimes, and so use your head. Okay, you're a smart guy.
Ooh.
Take care of yourself. I don't know if I have a chance. We'll talk again.
I hope we do. I hope we can talk to you again. They're here.
The detective ends things on a friendly note, calling him Buddy, and touches him on the shoulder as a last-ditch effort to leave a positive impression.
Oh.
This is in the hopes
Give
that
him a
he may
hug.
at some point
Give him
change
a
his
hug.
mind and
Give
confess
him a
to the
hug. Be a
location of the
father.
bodies.
You know what this cop needs to do? You know what this cop needs to do? He needs to go, hey, son. And the killer goes. And he goes, hey, son. I was a firefighter when I was younger. And the killer goes, huh? Sorry, I abandoned you, my son. Sorry, I abandoned you, my son. Cries to him, bro. Says, I'm sorry I abandoned you, my son. Pretends to be the guy's father. The guy starts crying, bro. As he cries, okay, that salt, it's gonna take the walls down from within, and he'll say, and the cop, yes, it's my fault, my boy, it's my fault. And the cop is gonna tell him, what is that sound? And he's gonna say, that's the last noise she was making. And the cop's gonna go, what the fuck is wrong with you? And the guy's gonna go, huh? I thought you were my father. I ain't your daddy, bitch. I wouldn't dare be your father. If I fucked a woman and you were gonna be born, I would have kicked her. Not in the stomach, I would have Sparta kicked her down the fucking stairs, motherfucker. You should have never have been born. And then this guy starts crying because now it's a roller coaster of emotions because he remembers, right? Like, oh my God, you're my dad, but then you're no longer his dad. And now you're the dad that abandoned him. And it would have been even worse. And now he starts crying. Oh, bro. And now as he starts crying, now this is when you can actually hit him. You can go... But then he's not going to be crying for the smacking, bro. He's not going to be crying for the smacking, okay? But he's already crying, so you can actually smack him, and people won't know. Because they'll be like, oh yeah, he's crying, right? He was already crying before the smacking. So did he actually smack him, or did he pretend to smack him? You know what I mean? You feel me? Because like in wrestling, they go, right? They don't actually smack them, they hit themselves, right? So this guy already smacked. And now he grabs him like this. Where are they? Where are they? Where are the bodies? And then, you know what you do? You know what you do? You grab a leaf. You grab a leaf because it's what he has at home. And you grab the lighter, bro. And you go... I will burn all of your leaves one by one until you tell me, where are they? And he doesn't speak. You grab another one. He don't speak. Are you really not gonna speak? You grab a bunch of them, bro, and you set his fucking leaves on fire. This no, my leaves, no, my leaves, no. I will keep burning your leaves. In fact, I will kill all of the trees in your block and I will burn them all. And no! Please! Please! I cut her into pieces! I cut her into pieces and put her in the bin! Please don't touch my leaves! And then the cop leaves the room. Oh my God. And the killer, no, Dad, please don't leave again. That's what you do, bro. That's how I would have gotten him to speak.
Question here is,
Holy
is
shit.
Matthew's strange behavior in the interrogation all an act either for pity,
Holy
attention,
shit.
or a ploy to get an insanity
Holy
defense?
shit. Holy shit, I lost 50% of my viewers, bro. I lost 50% of my viewers to my skit. Hey, go watch a fucking streamer who doesn't try to entertain you, just watches the fucking videos because you guys are fucking losers. Losers who just want an e-boyfriend or an e-girlfriend to watch shit next to you. My viewers, the real viewers, they want to be entertained by me. Okay, they don't just want me to be in the corner like a fucking loser waiting for money to come. Okay, fuck the video, bro. The video is a template for me to work on. You see, the video is the platform in which I am. Alright, I am not like these other streamers who are literal wallflowers. Okay, they hide, they're like, oh, please don't notice me. Please don't notice me. I'm gonna steal content from another creator, but I'm gonna fucking make money. Nah, bro, I don't steal content, I transform it. This is transformative, you fucking pieces of shit. You wish you were like me, pussies.
Or is what we are seeing actually the real Matthew? Matthew later revealed that he made up the entire story about his dream about the food processing plant, where he opened a trash bag and
I'm not gonna lie,
cut up body parts.
He's actually
He admitted that it was all a lie to try and get himself killed by the police because he didn't want to be injected with Thorazine, an antipsychotic medication, for the rest of his life. He said he still didn't remember where the bodies were.
Oh.
In a written confession, Matthew admitted even more. telling the investigators that he'd been staking out Tina's home the night before the attack,
Oh, bro.
sleeping in the woods across the street.
Oh.
The next morning, he watched as everyone left and then snuck into the home through the garage.
No.
His plan had been to burglarize the home and sneak away without anyone seeing him. He chose Tina's house because there weren't any close neighbors, and the door was often left ajar. However, Tina and Stephanie returned and caught Mathew in the act. He claimed he ambushed them in a panic. He wrote, "I was in a total state of shock. I wandered around the house, slowly coming to realization of what I'd done and how bad it was. During this time, I killed Tina's dog because it would not stop barking."
Bro.
It only got worse because then Sarah and Cody returned home. Mathew attacked and killed Cody before tying up Sarah.
Oh.
He wrote, "I did not enter the house to kill those people. I did not know a single one of them." Shortly after killing Tina, Stephanie, and Cody, Mathew drove to Gambier to collect gas
Why
cans
did
from
he
his
wanna
own
steal
vehicle
from
with the
them?
intention of burning down Tina's house. It was then that he was stopped by an officer who eventually let him go. He gave up his plan to burn down the house and instead returned to his own, where he built a campfire, burned his shoes, and drank a bottle of wine. On November 18th, Mathew finally cracked and agreed to show investigators the location of Tina, Cody, and Stephanie's bodies. It's unclear if Mathew's memory of what he did came back, or more likely, if he'd been lying about not remembering all along.
Fucking loser.
He described the spot to officers where he dumped the bodies, hidden in the Kokosing Wildlife Area. As the detectives traveled through fields to a wooded area, other officers secured the perimeter. They eventually found a hollow beech tree that matched Mathew's description, which had a hole about 6 feet up from the ground. There was also a second larger hole near the branches.
Bro, how are you gonna like forget that you put them inside of a fucking tree and then oh my god, bro, I put them inside of a tree, of course. Now the tree looks like this. It has 4 branches and 2 holes, okay? Now don't ask me what I did with those 2 holes. That's right, Mr. Officer. I did fill them up. Mr. Officer, but not with my cock. I filled them up with people. I'm not that sicko. I'm a sicko, but I'm not that much of a sicko. Brother, nobody believes you. My dude, nobody believes you. Okay? You knew all along. Fake fuck.
When an officer looked inside the hole, they spotted what looked like trash bags hidden inside the tree. Another hole was cut in the tree and the trash bags were examined, revealing remains belonging to Tina Herman, Cody Maynard, Stephanie Spring, and Tanner the dog. Mathew later revealed he got the bodies inside the tree using the top hole and a rig and pulley system to drop them inside.
Bro.
There's some speculation that when Mathew worked as a tree trimmer, he had hollowed out the tree himself.
Yeah.
On January 6, 2011, Mathew avoided the death penalty by pleading guilty to 10 felonies.
He knew exactly
After everything that was
what he
found,
doing.
it was clear that Mathew had a bizarre obsession with leaves. Forensic psychologists testified that his leaf obsession was delusional, and they believed that he may have hidden the bodies inside of a tree because
So
it was
they would
familiar
grow.
and comforting to him. Matthew Hoffman was then sentenced to life in prison without the possibility
Bro,
of
he's a
parole.
good-looking guy.
That same month, his leaf-filled home went into foreclosure, and eventually the tree where the bodies had been hidden was cut down.
Hey, fuck your tree. Hey, fuck your tree and fuck your leaves, bitch. Fuck your trees and fuck your leaves, bitch. Ooh, he got obliterated. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I was falling asleep. For a while, I was struggling to stay awake. Bro, I feel energized. I feel energized right now. I feel energized. I put it in the freezer. Nah. Mitchell. Blah. The smell is soaking into everything. Detective realizes 12-year-old suspect is insane. I think I've seen that one. Nah, you're better looking. Thank you, bro. I look better than a fucking serial killer. That means a lot, bro. That means a lot. Okay? I gotta get my numbers up, bro, to catch up to him. You feel me? You feel me? I gotta get the numbers up, bro. What the fuck? Oh my god. Ivan Milat. Hold on. Hold on. Human smoothie color. Bro, I wanted to watch this one, but I gotta watch this. Like, he hunted his victims to turn them into smoothies.
What is up, Iwu crew?
Jesus
Today, we're
fucking
going to be
Christ.
covering another extremely compelling case to continue our series of serial killers you've never heard of. Most people love a good vampire story, as there is just something about vampires that has fascinated humanity